Okay, this evening I hope to be able to show you how to use these little icons down here on the lower right, but in fact we'll only be doing one of them. We've got the effects, filters, styles, but it's the graphics are the one we want. I will definitely go over these other ones eventually. Okay, I'm going to just clear the screen a little bit and get rid of this. Put it over here. And we're going to click on the graphics and it will immediately give you quite a gallery of picture frames that will help to frame the picture. So let's get right on with it and try and show one. So you click on it. If you're lucky, it will just go straight across. Sometimes you have to double click and occasionally it will not give it to you. There we are, double click that one and there we are. And so it gets a frame that's bigger than many frames. They're more tight with all this around. That is one. Or then you want to put a bit of a background on it because this is just the basic see-through vinyl layer. And so we come up to frames, look for backgrounds, and find one that you think would look quite good. Green and green, let's just try that one just for the sake of demonstration. Yeah, it took 2 clicks to get that one. So if you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you can just get rid of it. Now, a very useful way with this, because if you're like me and if you're like most people, you will keep going until you find one that's right. And you keep wanting to try an effect and then get rid of it. So I'm going to suggest we go up to the Windows and you go to the Navigator panel. It's one I mentioned in my last recording, but it's so useful, it's well worth another mention. So I'll just put it over here for the moment. So the Navigator, it will allow you actually to make things bigger or smaller at the drop of a mouse. But the one that I'm actually after here is history. And it tells you all that you've done with this. So we go back to open, and now we're right back to the beginning again. Okay. So now let's go back and look at the frames. Frames, frames, frames. There we are. And let's look for one a bit more appropriate than the last one. So let's try this one, leather texture one. That looks quite nice. And I think we'll just leave that one for a moment. This up here allows you to make it bigger or smaller. And this one allows you to rotate it. And this one gives you a chance to bring another picture in. But before you can do anything more, now we have to click this one as OK. Now, why did I tip it on its side? Because you can also tip this one on its side as well. If you'd rather have landscape orientation, which I often do, then you go back to, now we go back to the layers. Make sure that this frame is in fact selected. Then we come over to image and rotate. Oops. Image, rotate, and we want to go 90 degrees to the right, actually. And so now you've got the nice landscape view rather than the portrait. Now we want to add a background to that. So we go back to the graphics. And these are the frames. So now we go down and background. So we're looking for kind of a brownish one. This looks actually fairly appropriate. Let's try that one. No, too orange. So now you go up to history and you just go back to one step to the rotate. And now we'll look for another more appropriate background. And you just scroll up and down, up and down. And what about this one here? Too busy. Back one step. And so you can just keep playing with these. And then when you eventually want to get a new one, I'll show you what to do in just a moment. But there we are. Maybe this one, try this one for a background. Interesting. Okay, so we're going back to opening this picture here. And maybe actually we'll just get another picture to work on just for a change. Here we go. And so mostly the thing this evening is that this panel here, and it's got several things. The navigator, again, as I said, it can make you bigger or zoom in, zoom out. And when you're zoomed in, this little box, and then you can move that, and you can move anywhere in the image that you want. Really useful. Favorites is useful. I didn't do it, but this particular computer has this one stored under favorite. That obviously that's a frame that it likes. But if, for example, you felt you like this one here, it's just a question of dragging and dropping it over onto the favorites box. And then you don't have to rummage through all these hundreds if there's one that you find particularly good. History just gets you going forwards and backwards. Oh, don't worry about that one. It just gives you pretty pictures. Color swatches and actions. They're another subject for another day. So let's go back to history. Yeah. Okay. So I think that does describe it. We'll just have one more go. And let's go here. So let's see what frames we've got here. Okay, right, I don't know what happened that there, but anyway, frames again. And let's see, I want something to look nice for that green one. Yeah, so yeah. Good, and that actually looks quite nice. I think we've used that one before. Now we'll go up to backgrounds and find something which will match that. Let's go with a variable one here. Yeah, oh, that seems to add some effect. And if you need to change the picture, do it before you put the frame on. It makes life so much easier. But other than that, I think that this is just a question of messing around with it. We will just show you up here as well. You've got frames by activity, by event, by mood, by object, by seasons, Halloween and things like this. So that's bring it down a little bit more. And so feel free to explore it, have a go. It can be fun. And it is not as difficult as it looks. And sometimes the effect can be really, really quite effective.